Once you have put a lot of work into setting up your image on the Raspberry Pi, it's a good idea to create a backup of that image. And the first step to doing that is to properly shut down your Raspberry Pi so you can remove the SD card and then create a backup of it on your laptop or a computer. So with SSH, we'll say shutdown -H for halt and now, so that it shuts down right now. And we'll need to do that as a super user, so it is sudo shutdown -H now. Once the operating system is shut down, we can remove power and then remove the SD card. And then I'll take the SD card, and I have a micro to normal SD card adapter, and I'll insert that into my Mac here. And then in a terminal window, we are going to type in diskutil list. And that'll give us a list of all of the drives on our computer. And we could see it's here because we could see that this is the one we're dealing with here. Well, for a few reasons. I know the size of it. I know it's a 16 gig SD card, so we could kind of discern that from there. And also because it's a Linux machine running on there. So I know that disk 2 is the disk that I want to clone. Great. So I've got a command here that I'll copy and paste, and then I'll explain to you what's going on with it. So we'll need to use sudo to do this, and then dd is the command to make a copy. And right here is the disk name. Now you'll notice that there's an R in front of it. Don't forget that, but we have disk 2 here, and that's the name that needs to be here. So if yours is different, if it's disk 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever it is, make sure you have the right name there preceded by the letter R. And then after here is where we're going to save it to. So desktop, and here's the name of the image, and we could call that whatever we like. And I'm just calling it controlpi.img. And this is the size of the blocks in which they'll be copied. Not that important for us. And count is actually very important. That is how much we are going to copy. So if you remember, we resized the image to use the entire disk, and if I know for some reason that I only need to copy 4 gig, then here is where I could copy that. Here is where I could say only copy the first 4 gig. That may not always be a safe thing to do if things have gotten moved around a lot, but that could be a good way to save some space on your computer. So always go a little larger than you expect. Add a half a gig at least, maybe 1 or 2 gig, so that you make sure you get everything. And then pressing enter will execute this command. You'll probably have to enter your password. Pressing Control+T will give you a status update here in terminal because you won't be able to see what's going on. And then, of course, it'll take a few seconds or a few minutes to clone that entire image. And then you'll have a backup that you could store wherever you like. You could flash it to a new SD card and make copies of the old one that way. And it's just a good idea to make backups.